Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 2,000 point game I had with my vampire counts against my brother Skaven. So, you probably just recently saw my game that I had against my brother Skaven with my Wood Elves, but in the meantime, he's gotten a few more models, and the most important one is his general here, his Grace here. So, all of a sudden, his magic's going to be a lot better. He's also got some slaves thrown in there now, and I'm bringing back my one Lamayan themed vampire, Labora. I have +2 attacks, the potion of strength. I reroll hits. The 4+ ward and stupidity, blah blah blah. But this is going to be my only character, but she's fairly tough. So the game we got was the Dawn Attack, and this is going to be bad for both of us because both Skaven and Vampire Counts are an army that you really need to kind of work together and make sure everything's in range of your general, and so that can really screw you over here. And really, the main thing, like that, really hurt me. As you can see here, from left to right, I had 20 Graveguard. My Lord is in there. I have 5 Wraiths. I have my cart. I have a horde of ghouls with a ghast, and then on the far right, I have a horde of ghouls with a ghast, and also 7 or 8 Black Knights with a banner there. And the main thing is those guys on the far right can't march, and so unless he sends guys after him, that's a large chunk of my army that might have no effect whatsoever. Uh, Up on his side, he actually got a lot of units that had to be squished on his left side. So he had a big unit of clan rats, 2 long units of 60 slaves. Then he has a bunker of 20 rats, and in there he has his Grey Seer and his BSB. Up on that one hill there, you can see he has a Warp Lightning Cannon, 4 Rat Ogres, and then another horde that has his Engineer with the Doom Rocket. And you can kind of see behind that one building, there's another Hill Pit Abomination. We also got lots of terrain in this one, so this building on the left here is at Acropolis of Heroes. The fancy side's on the other side. It's too bad the picture's from this way. But anyway, then we have a Mysterious Forest. He has a scree slope up there. The building, the tower there. There's another Mysterious Forest. Next up is the another building that's by that hill pit. And the one kind of like forest base that doesn't have any trees on it, that's the marsh. The one where if you fail initiative, you lose D6 models. And then there's a couple more hills and another mysterious forest on the right side. So looking at this here, in a way I was kind of happy because the fact that he put his HPA on the right side meant that he didn't have any magical attacks, so that my uh, race to just kind of raise hell. But the other thing is that I'm just horribly outnumbered here, and I'll have to really watch out and try and use that forest to my advantage. Because if I can fight these guys in the forest, I'm going to beat them with my Graveguard. They have the Banner Barrows. They have +1 to attack, and then I can beat them there. And I just gotta also watch out that his magic could kill my wraiths really quickly. I also now know he has the Power Scroll, and so if he gets off the 13th spell, he could zap my Graveguard all in one go. So I get first turn, my stuff move up, and with my race having nothing to worry about, they're really rushing up. On the right side, you can see that since I can't march, I go almost nowhere. And it's a really fast turn because of my magic phase. The first thing I try and cast is that Winds of Undeath to try and kill his weapon teams. Yeah, sorry, he has 2 Plague Mortars behind his Clan Rat units. But I failed to cast it, and so that's it. My magic phase is over, and so is the turn. So Skaven turn 1, really they're just kind of moving up. His slaves go into the one left forest, find out it's just a regular one. With his different shooting, he kills off 3 of the wraiths. His Doom Rocket shoots off 2 far. Plague Mortar kills 1 of my Graveguard, the other one scatters. And his Warp Lightning Cannon hit my Corpse Cart, but luckily only did 1 wound to it. And his HPA there is moving down, but at this point I'm not really sure if he's going after my stuff on the right, which would be great, so they're actually part of it, or whether he's setting up a flank on my ghouls. So Vampire turn 2, my Wraiths charge into those Rat Ogres, easily kill them, and move on. And you can see there that I used my magic, pretty much all of it was just going into those Wraiths, just spam, spam, spam to try and raise these guys up wound by wound to actually get them back up to 4 models. Otherwise, my Graveguard, I don't want to push up too much yet because I don't want to have anything in the flank, so they're just kind of waiting there at the edge of the woods. And my Ghouls went up, but again, I'm not moving up too far because I want to make sure that I'm not going to get that Hell Pit Abomination in the flank. And then on his turn 2, it was good I didn't because that's exactly what he was doing. He was waiting to hit me with his Hell Pit, and he rolled fairly high for his movement and charged me right away, so we'll have to see how this battle goes. So at the end of the turn, it looks like this. Really, he didn't do too much on the left side, just those clan rats edging up a little bit. The main thing was his clan rats on the right, moving in so they can help the hell pit, and his main bunker with the mages and things looking at my race so they could blast them. And they did. They killed all but one, you can see there. His warp lightning cannon destroyed my corpse cart, and then he also killed a few more of my grave guard. And then in combat, he kills a bunch of my ghouls, but when I attacked back, I actually forced him to take 8 saves, so it's got a ton of poison. However, he made all but 2, so I lost by a good amount, and now I'm just down to 21 ghouls. Alright, so my turn 3, I decide to be a little bit more aggressive because I can't just wait for things to die. I have to start going after them. So the Karnwrights, that's an easy charge to go into the Warp Lightning Cannon. Unfortunately, I did just 2 wounds and didn't destroy it. My Grave Guard there, you can see, are moving into woods because I don't care if I lose steadfast in my ranks. The main thing is if they want to fight me, they're going to lose theirs, and I'm pretty sure I'll beat them in combat. Uh, my lord, you can see there, charged off into his bunker. And the reason because I did that is because his Grey Seer was on the edge, and so it's a risky move because I might not even make it there. But the big thing is if I killed that, all that leadership is gone. And even though there's a lot of ranks there, as long as I keep on getting things, I'll be okay. So as you can see there, I was able to kill off his Grey Seer, so that's great. No more magic for him other than the level 1 engineer. And then they passed their break test and also passed their test to reform to face me. Um, Otherwise, before that happened, I got off the raise undead horde and was able to raise a whole bunch of ghouls, which was great. But in the end, he got very unlucky and killed only a couple of my guys. And then when I forced him to take 3 more saves, he regened all of them. So it's just there's a little bit of frustration starting to build up at this point. So his turn 3, these clan rats join this fight, and that's pretty much death to my ghouls. And then just one thing I want to point out here is, first of all, I just like this picture of my vampire lord bravely fighting on this entire unit by himself. But the way things matched up, my brother put the BSB in range or in contact with my vampire, so I'm actually going to be able to kill him. The problem is that things didn't really go my way. I killed the BSB, no problem. There's 2 combat res for me, but then, even though they needed 5+ to hit, 6+ to wound, and then I have a 4+ ward, they did a wound to me, and because they still have all their ranks, they don't have a banner in this unit, but that means that I have 2 combat res, they have 4, I crumbled by 2 with also the wound I already had on me, and bam, my general's dead. So, pretty much I already know I've lost this game now. So, end of turn looks like this. My race were able to destroy the thing in the back there. Uh, I hardly did anything with my ghouls, and I'm now just down to the 1 rank, and so they're toast next turn. And you can see that he didn't bother fighting my Graveguard yet because there's no reason to. He can just stand there and shoot me with mortars. So my turn 4. Now that I know I might as well be aggressive since I'm going to lose. First of all, I lose my wraiths and a bunch of my knights to my crumbling, and then I charge my Graveguard into both of his slave units because they were side by side, beat them, broke them, they exploded, so that was great, kind of, but because from the explosion I lost half my Graveguard. But the funny thing is that it also killed a bunch of his bunker unit, and they panicked. And he kills my ghouls in the center and just kind of combat reforms. And then I'm kind of moving up my knights and my ghouls on the right side, but I'm just kind of hoping he even fights me because otherwise he could just move away. There's really no reason why he would need to engage me now. And his side 4, that is what he does. He sends his help at me, but he's just short by an inch. Otherwise, because that one forest that's in the middle turns out to be one that makes you stupid, so he didn't want to go into it with the clan rats yet. And then just shooting brings my grave down to just 1 model. So my turn 5 now. My grave guard guy died and the knights died, so it's all up to these ghouls. But as you can see, I charged the Hell Pit Abomination, got a fair amount of poisons on him, but the main thing is that this time he actually finally failed all those regens and died. So, if nothing else, at least this is a Hell Pit Abomination that I've killed, and now I'm moving in to fight with these other Skaven here. Skaven turn 5, he knows there's no reason to fight me in a forest where he's going to lose all his ranks and get run down, so he just stands there and blasts me, and the Hellpit Abomination turns into a rat swarm, but we didn't have any, so there's just a Ripper Swarm there to represent it. And then my turn 6, not many of these guys crumble. I think it was one, so I just charged that big unit, beat them, they broke, and I ran them down. So huge chunk of points. One thing I didn't mention though is that his bunker unit rallied, so it's not like it was enough points for me to get a win or anything, but at least it was a last little hurrah. Alright, so we didn't add it up at the time, but with him having the one horde unit of rats alive in a bunker and the two weapons team, and with me just having the one horde, it was a victory to him. He's probably had 150, 180 points or something. Uh, but the big thing here is, even though for him it was his first win for Skaven, and actually this is the first time he's ever beaten me in fantasy, he wasn't happy and I was happy. Both of us were actually fairly frustrated with this game just because the way that it worked, with the deployment, everything was so annoying because everything was broken up not the way you wanted it. The way that terrain was, it didn't let you really move around. All of our, the big blocks had to be so careful, and with all the woods and things, the way that some of the rolls went, it just was so frustrating when, he would make all those regen saves and I would be so frustrated. Or sorry, he'd be so frustrated when he would kill all those wraiths, and I would just raise them right back up. Uh, he has his brand new general, and I ran up and killed him. I have my vampire lord that I like, and he was able to get that wound and crumble and kill her, and so both of us, it was just a really, I would say it wasn't really an enjoyable game, which was unfortunate because usually me and my brother have really good games. But the main thing is, his Skaven's growing. Obviously, he's starting to pick up some of the tricks of the trade, and we should have a lot better games in the future. So thanks for watching. Bye.